I'm seeing some theories that I might have overslept. I slept a good bit. But anyway, welcome to the day after the day of inevitability, where Trump antagonized his supporters over the course of months into trying to sack Washington, D.C., which seems, in hindsight, like, yeah, no, that's where we were always going to go. By the way, if you're joining us for this pre-show, I've opened up some of the blinds to let more light in. Let me know do things look better? Do things look worse? Does it look exactly the same? Is it all for naught? We're going to see if we can improve this quality. The issue is that it's YouTube live off of a phone, so it's never going to look as good as like the professional show or anything like that. It looks gloomy with more light. Wonderful. Well, anyway, thank you for joining us. Why is it so dark? Oh, I see. Okay, well, I'm assuming the background is going to be more dark if the light is illuminating me and there's only so much dynamic range. Okay, is it better? Is it worse? I don't know. Respond with better or worse, and we'll see what people think. Chakuseki says, new proposed Pokemon evolution. Trump campaign human griftipede evolves into human holiday party conga line COVIDpede, and finally transforms into QAnon shamanistic seditionpede. Yeah, I think it reached that yesterday. People are saying fine, some people are saying worse. Kirsten Chromatic Dragon, welcome to YouTube membership. Some people are saying worse. It's a little bit harder for me to see the screen in the comments. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm going to be joined on the full damage report in about an hour, a little bit less than an hour, by Rashad Ritchie. We always have an awesome time together, and couldn't really be a better time to bring him on than after, the events of yesterday. Spooky Fox says, what are the chances of the 25th Amendment being invoked? We're gonna talk about that on the show. Don't worry. That's going to be one of our big topics. The glasses have more glare. They do. They do. Okay, well, it was a fine experiment, but probably not going to continue with it. Anyway, Nidorina, thank you. Consider it yours. Okay, so we've got this full-packed show. Way too much, honestly, already for the full show. I also have a billion stories for this pre-show. There's just too much going on. I do want to let you know that while we're going to be focusing on some of the people on the right who are sort of turning on Trump at least a little bit at the last possible moment, right now I want to let you know about some people who are coming out and trying to get him out of there while there is still time. Chuck Schumer has called for his removal, whether through impeachment or the invocation of the 25th Amendment. You also have Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who had supported impeachment yesterday, tweeting just moments ago, our republic is in great danger and it is imperiled further without swift action to protect it. The president incited an attack on Congress. He is deeply unstable. The cabinet must invoke the 25th Amendment. Congress must also pursue impeachment and removal of the president. So supporting both of those. Of course, bear in mind, the government basically doesn't exist for the next 2 weeks. The Senate's basically done until the 19th. I think the House is done until the inauguration, and Trump basically isn't president right now. So we effectively don't have a federal government for the next 2 weeks. So that's fun. And following a domestic terror attack in the Capitol. So good timing for that. I guess, they did their job and now they get a couple weeks off. No Sock, welcome to Tier 1 membership. Thank you for being a member. Enjoy the new emojis, including the new JR one. We are working on Francesca. Use a bounce for your lighting. Well, the lighting is like, it's direct diffused big sunlight. Like, it's not. Anyway, Skylar says, hey, John, I wasn't going to ask when I decided my dragon name, but can I have SLUT Dragon, as in Salt Lake, Utah Dragon, please? I see what you did there, but yes, you can. Luck Dragon says, 20 years serving to protect and defend the Constitution, and last night I saw conservatives who claim to respect my service to file everything I stand for. Totally. But again, like I said on the main show yesterday, it's not inconsistent. Why is your lighting so off the wall? Is it really bad? Is it really bad? Anyway, yeah, this is not inconsistent for the right. The right, it's just constant. We love the cops, love the troops, also kind of want to overthrow the government and kill some soldiers to do it. Soldiers are the best. Gonna join a militia and train to kill those soldiers. Love the cops. Well, I'm a sovereign citizen, so I gotta ambush and kill a couple of cops to prove. Like, it's the constant back and forth there. It's like this pretend support for the authority figures, insofar as those authority figures are, constantly over-policing the sort of people that you hate the most. But also really dream about overthrowing them and killing them along the way. And so we saw that dichotomy again playing out yesterday. Mueller's Game says, I was at work when the Capitol siege happened. My coworkers were talking about cult leader Jim Jones. I think I know why. I think I know why as well. Quetzal says, you're awesome, John. Thank you for all the work you do. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you. Jazzer Schwa says, Ass Dragon reporting. What is wrong with you, Ass Dragon? Anyway, so that's going on. I considered putting this on the main show, but I don't want to play the video and I don't want to spend too much time on it. But you should understand that many people witnessed yesterday's events and have come to all the wrong conclusions based off of it, or more accurately, want you to come to all the wrong conclusions. So after spending weeks or 2 months, getting people ready to do this siege, they now want to claim that it wasn't actually them. It wasn't the conservatives, and that's people like Mo Brooks. I mean, it's like Linwood types and all of that, but it's also elected officials. So Matt Gaetz said that it was Antifa yesterday. It was Antifa, despite the fact that right-wingers, known right-wingers, were taping themselves in the speaker's office. No, it was Antifa. It was all left. I mean, it's like literally the right-wing figures in there filming themselves. I don't know what would have to happen for them to accept it. I'm assuming nothing, because it's a grift and they don't care. Matt Gaetz doesn't actually believe that it's Antifa. What he believes is that he wants those fascists to support him someday. All of them, Josh Hawley, all of them, Ted Cruz, those who are doing that performative bullshit, they don't think that the election was fraudulent, and they don't think that this was Antifa. They think, we lost, but I'm going to win next time, and to win, I'm going to need these crazies. So these crazies who are sacking the Capitol today, I want them to be writing my name in 4 years, and so I'll say whatever the fuck I need to say. So he's lying about it. Mo Brooks is saying, there is some indication that fascist Antifa elements were involved, that they embedded themselves in the Trump protests. Okay, so here's the fun thing about that. First of all, the expression fascist Antifa, that's a fun one. What do you think the fun means again? Anyway, so here's what is a very cool thing that's happening right now. So you have people like Mo Brooks and Matt Gaetz and Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson, all of them saying, it was Antifa, it was the left, it was a false flag, it was Antifa. Okay, so first of all, before the event, you all spent weeks telling people to go and do this, that they need to stand up and fight, they need to do these things. As soon as they do it, you say, well, I didn't have anything to do with that, and it wasn't my people at all. But also, so that's before, but middle of the event, Trump put out a video, and what did Trump say? Trump said, I love you, you're very special people. So which is it? Was it Trump fans that got a little bit out of control, but Trump loves them and appreciates them and understands their anger? Or was it Antifa and Trump loves them and thinks they're special and understands their anger? Does Trump love Antifa at this late date? If it was Antifa, why does Trump love them and why are they very special? Which is it? Is it that you're standing with Trump because you want us to believe that? You're literally spending all night trying to stop the election from proceeding so that Trump can stay president. But Trump is saying that those people were his people and he loves them. But you're saying that that was actually Antifa. And the thing is, none of this makes any sense, nor does any of this need to make any sense, because there's not a person on that side that sits and thinks, wait, is this consistent? Nobody does any of that. None of it. We're like 5 days into 2021, and we had the temerity to think, hey, maybe it'll be better. Anyway, Mark Bugg says, yesterday was December 37th, 2020. Sad day. Is 2020 over yet? Damn, very good point. Did I just say we're 5 days in? We're obviously 7 days in. Nina says, the lighting isn't that bad, just different than normal. Can I get Niner Dragon? You can. Yeah, I don't, normally more light makes it the image better. I'm going to watch afterward and see, but Chaco Seki says, I bet Susan Collins' brow is so furrowed that it forms a singularity. Yeah, I think Trump is going to learn a lesson after this, is what I think. Tina says, if Trump is the Mad King, Uncle Bernie is Ned Stark. I get what you're saying, but I also remember what happened to Ned Stark, and I don't like where this is going. Anyway, by the way, there's very nearly 10,000 of you. Thank you so much for watching the pre-show. I have a lot of fun during the pre-show every day. I look forward to it every day. I hope that you do too. But one other thing you should also look forward to is hitting the like button once we're live. There's almost 10,000 of you. Like 15% have hit the like button. What the F, people? Anyway, if you could do that, that would be great so that people know we're live and all of that. Guapo says, John, Trump is calling for his rebel mass to unite in a rally in D.C. again. Guapo, where is he doing that? Because he's basically banned everywhere. We're going to turn to that in just a second. I guess he can probably tweet again now. Probably. Because I think he was banned for 12 hours earlier. Has he tweeted? Brett Anderson says, hey, first time commenting. Your show has kept me informed and sane. I also claim the not-so-elder Silver Dragon. Thank you for commenting for the first time and watching earlier. And, of course, that name is yours. Tree Frog says, the current state of the White House, rats abandoning a sinking ship. No, but see, you don't even understand. I've got a block, so we name our blocks for the show, and one of mine is rats sinking ship. And so we're going to have a whole section on that. Stamatina, hey Stamatina, says, good day from Down Under Dragon Squad. John, I saw you talking about Aussie Shepherds on the post-game. Aussie is pronounced Aussie. It is, but we call them Australian Shepherds here. Aussie Shepherds. Anyway, but by the way, following that, someone did clue me into a Aussie that's possible to rescue. The thing is, while I'm talking about how much I want one, I actually can't get one right now. I already have 2 dogs. My wife is the one who, throughout the day, has to take care of them like 80% of the way. So I want one, but I don't have the room. I live in a tiny little one-room place with 2 dogs already. But someday. And we are now up to almost 30% likes. That's pretty good. If we could live in a world where it was above 50%, that would be awesome. But I know a lot of people aren't signed in. It's not actually possible, so don't worry about it. Zanny said, I think you predicted the future yesterday talking about zombies breaking into the building with you or red hats beheaded the Capitol and said, yeah, exactly. Well, in 2 ways, in 3 ways we predicted the future. So 1, this is sort of a meta thing, and credit doesn't matter, especially credit for someone like me in the media. It doesn't matter. We're literally the least important part of that. Getting something wrong doesn't matter. But just between me and 10,500 of you, what did we say when Trump was running for president? What did we say when he got elected? What did we say about who he would be and what movement he was leading? They stormed the Capitol. A lot of people were really shocked, okay? But not everybody was shocked by it. And what did they say about us for literally years? Oh, you guys you're exaggerating. It's hysteria. You're hyperbolic. Come on, fascism. You're throwing around the word fascism, seriously. It's all the same. Why are you focusing on the right? Don't focus on the right. It's all about whatever. Well, we saw what happened, okay? 4 people died yesterday. Now, I know in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot of people compared to, for instance, Trump's failure on COVID killed nearly 4,000 people just yesterday. But anyway, we were right about that. Yeah, the people breaking down the doors, I was joking about that, but in the end, they did do it. Look, even as that was beginning yesterday, I didn't think it would go as far, but not because I didn't think they wanted to do it. I thought that there would be some sort of response, and we all had to see that, no, it was just totally allowed. They could do whatever they want. And then also the prediction was very clear yesterday with Trump fans on the show, the full show, saying you can have whatever fantasies you want about the vote being overturned or whatever. It is going to be certified. And it was, in fact, certified. It was dragged out by people like Matt Gaetz and Gosar and Hawley and a whole bunch of other frauds like that. But it did happen. Biden is going to be president. If these people, they cared at all, I'm trying to tell them what is actually going to happen so that they won't be blindsided by it. The media they love and support lied to them. And so today, they must wake up just so shocked at the state of the world. Wait, it was actually certified, but I was told that Pence could just overturn it or that the vote would be stopped. It'd be sent back to the states. And then bada bing, bada boom, we got no democracy anymore. It was going to be awesome. Yeah, but I was telling you the whole time that it wasn't going to happen. So I was telling you the truth and giving you an accurate idea of what's going to happen. The grifters you support were lying. Who are you going to support in the future? We already know. You're going to go right back to the grifters. Because at the end of the day, some people follow the news to really understand what is happening and what's going to happen, and also to some extent what has happened in the past. That added historical context is of course always important, but some people do not. It might seem that that's what they're doing, but what they're doing is they're going into this to basically lay on their back and have someone rub their tummy for them and tell them that they're a very beautiful, special thing. And Trump like literally did that yesterday. That's all it is. It's make me feel better right now. It's sort of like a mental massage for their smooth brains. Zany Dragon says, I think you, oh yeah, I was read that earlier. Anyway, thank you for that super chat. That obviously got me going. Victor says, Bolsonaro is already saying that something similar may happen here in Brazil. Please do not forget us. Put the pressure on Biden to pressure him. So that, yeah, obviously we shouldn't forget about Brazil or any other country. What I'm curious about is he saying that like when he runs again, they're going to fraudulently steal it, or I assume whatever he's saying, it ain't going to end good. Penguin says, I don't think Trump is getting a security deposit back. That's a very good point. Sharpie says, like someone who identifies as Antifa would carry or even own a Trump flag. Laughable. Great point. Or a Confederate flag. Sheena Bud says, AussieRescue.org, you can adopt and fund a good cause. Thank you for that. Again, I can't right now. I wish that I could, but thank you. Rebecca says, gotta say, Cenk chose a bad time to go on sabbatical. Yes, but you might have noticed that Cenk has been doing live videos like constantly. That dude, he takes time off, but he never really takes time off. I think he's doing the main show today, by the way. The Young Turk show, I mean, not my show. Although, to give you an early heads up, so on Inauguration Day, do you know who my co-host is going to be? One Cenk Uygur, no big deal. Coffees for Closer says, will there be any consequences for Trump and his Republican enablers? Coffees for Closers, you already know the answer to that. I mean, there are some consequences, I guess. Trump is not going to be president anymore. That's something. Beyond that, I don't expect it. I would love to be surprised by that, but I don't expect it. And his Republican enablers, like, they're doing what they can to salvage their reputation right now. And D.C. and, you know, New York as well, these are places where reputations are very salvageable. Like, you can do whatever you want. As long as someone thinks that you can deliver money or influence for them in the future, a lot can be forgiven. Barry says, Spud Dragon reporting in. Someone needs to claim Rama Lama Ding Dragon. Well, it's inevitable. Calissa Giles, welcome to Tier 1 YouTube membership. Thank you for that. Cameron Sarkle, thank you for your super chat, as well as Latricia Hope. Very nice of you. Maria says, love your show. It's what keeps me going during the day. May I claim Clueless Dragon? And would you say hi to my lovely wife, Liv? You certainly can. Maria and Liv, hello. Thank you for watching. Karen says, the Trumpublicans' only skill is professional hypocrites. The kings, queens of the double standard. Exactly. I would argue that they have more than two standards. It's like an endless gradient of standards, but yes. Spooky Fox says, will Ted Cruz run third party in 2024? Will the RNC stand with his insurrectionist leanings? I think he wants to run as the Republican candidate in 2024. Pixie Druid, welcome to Tier 1 membership. WBS says, thank you for the work you do. I'd love to be a dragon. WBS, you already are a dragon. The dragon was inside you all along, but thank you. Daniel says, Lee's Summit, Missouri, represent here. I hope this event keeps people voting for the next election. I hope so too. By the way, I have a lot of affection for Lee's Summit, Missouri. I've spent like 4 Thanksgivings in Lee's Summit. I've done multiple vacations to Lee's Summit. Nobody has done more vacations in Lee's Summit, Missouri than me because I have a friend who lives there. Popcorn Gal, welcome to Tier 1 membership. Bernie Bots as well. Saren says, 14th Amendment removed from office. Well, we're going to be talking about that. We certainly hope. Tom Twiddell says, it's not that thick John isn't adorable, but I think it's time to record a new closeout video because it doesn't even look like you anymore. Haha. Yes, we are in the process of re-recording that, especially because, like, you know, let alone, my body's a little bit different, but also that was in the before times, and it just seems weird to have any relic like that of what used to be. But thank you, and we will be re-recording it. Latricia says, I told you 2021 was the hold my beer year. Yep. Okay, I think we're almost caught up. Nick says, Twitter, Trump is suspended until 12 hours after he deletes his 3 tweets they hid from the public. Well, that's interesting. That might extend it. And Ryan tells me that Trump is on Parler. Yeah, that was inevitable. I think the only reason he didn't do it earlier is just because he's an old man. Like, and it's a whole new app that he has to learn. Lynn says, I don't think Trump loved anyone but himself. I think there is a lot of evidence of that. Jessica says, R&D wants to use the 25th Amendment on 45 now. Still say use Article 1, Section 5 to remove all the House and Senate reps. We're saying stolen election, sedation. Yeah, I know. They're not going to. Gatsby says, blue AF flags seen on TV here in UK. Isn't that an abbreviation of anti-fascist? Well, yeah, I mean, look, that's, if you're referring to the Mo Brooks thing, that was the issue, yeah. Emily says, it's all about us, the radical left. Thank you. Amanda Hobson, welcome to Tier 1 membership. So, by the way, if you are not familiar with our YouTube membership program, it's pretty new. We've only had it for a couple of weeks, but all of our, members get access to things like the post game and special streams and stuff like that, but also the emojis, which are really fun. At Tier 2, you get access to the weekly top 10 list that Francesca and I record. This week we did our top 10 predictions for 2021. Next week I'm going to be doing my top 10 board games. It's not always going to be political, and like if people have requests like the board games one, I'm happy to do it. Skydiving Dave says, Trump has never been held accountable for anything in his life. I doubt he will be held accountable this time either. I'm right there with you. Kimmy Cohn, welcome to Tier 1 YouTube membership. Mark Bug says, Cory Bush is my representative, but Hawley is my senator. WTF, talk about polar opposites. How did this happen? That is a great point. What a world, what a country we live in. Scott Johnson says, hey, Dragon Daddy. Thank you for all you do. My MAGA parents are in denial of this terrorism. I feel more empowered than ever to confront this blatant sedition. I claim Skylar Dragon, my drag name. That is awesome, Skylar Dragon. Thank you. Okay. Mark says, John, you're the man, and can I get Dragon Zord? If it's taken, I'll take Dragon Zord Light. I don't think it is taken, but I like Dragon Zord Light. Cameron says, side note, Elon Musk is the richest person today. Well, what do you know? I actually have that out here. Elon Musk, you're the Jordan Dragon. That's pretty good, Cameron. Thank you. So Elon Musk now has a net worth of more than $185 billion, the richest person in the world, surging past Jeff Bezos. And he started this year worth $27 billion. Now he's worth $184 billion. You know why? Because all... Okay, apologies. I don't know why that broke. Crap, I hope I don't lose access to... I can see that NPards and Shelley became Tier 2 members. Thank you for that. As well as John's Venn diagram of desire. Welcome. I don't know how far back the message... Looks like the messages don't go back all the way. I don't know why that occasionally happens, but thankfully we're able to resume. So anyway, thank you for sticking with us with that little tech hiccup. Gary Stone, thank you. Anyway, sorry. So Elon Musk is now worth $185 billion. He had been worth $27 billion. And so my joke is all of this is the product of tens of thousands of people who work in these corporations, the stock market, all of that. I am not an expert. I'm not a rich person. I don't have any sort of background in accounting or finance or anything like that. But I feel pretty confident in saying all of this is based on absolutely nothing. He was worth $27 billion, now he's worth $185 billion. What fundamentally is different about Tesla? Are they selling 8 times as many cars? Or do we believe that they're going to anytime soon? Electric cars at a number of other companies are getting better and better. It's just, this doesn't mean anything. It's not representative of anything. It's BS for all of them, inherently immoral for all of them, but at least hypothetically, so Jeff Bezos is in charge of a sort of worldwide distribution network for basically every type of good. Okay, whether that's worth what they say is bullshit or not, I'm gonna ignore for a second. He has a car company that sells some cars. And he's worth, none of it's worth anything. It doesn't mean anything. They could cut it down to 10 billion tomorrow and it would mean exactly the same thing. It's just all such BS. I just hate all of it. And the idea that these people, what they do have is endless political influence. Even though Elon Musk spent the last year saying the most insane batshit crazy shit about COVID that you can imagine. Patrick Duncan, welcome to Tier 1 membership. Stephen R. upgraded to Tier 2. Enjoy the top 10 lists. V the Dragon, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate that. Gatsby wants to be Havdan the Black Dragon. That's pretty cool. Is that a Viking name? Sounds like it. Chromatic Dragon is claiming Chromatic Dragon. Well, I can't deny you that. It's literally your name. And wants me to live stream a D&D one-shot. Maybe someday. We've been talking about it for a very long time. We'll have to see. Anyway, so that was a fun little bit of news. By the way, so we've been talking about the fact that Trump was, temporarily suspended on Twitter, and it seems like inevitably at some point he's going to be permanently banned once he's not president anymore. He is apparently banned on Facebook indefinitely, or at the very least for the next 2 weeks. Mark Zuckerberg put out a statement saying that it was too dangerous to allow Trump to continue to post, his calls to violence and all of that. Okay, so that's good. At this point, I mean, I hope. We'll see in a couple of years. Maybe I'll have been very wrong, but what are we, like 95% of the way through this Trump thing? And like now is when you're banning him? Like he spent literally years telling people to do crazy shit and violent shit, and he spent months whipping them into a frenzy about the election specifically. Now you're doing it? The important thing is that coming out of this, we remember that Mark Zuckerberg stood up against Trump and against the spread of disinformation and the radicalizing of more and more Americans. He stood up against that at the last moment, and we should give him credit for that. He thinks like someday he's gonna run for president again. What a dumb country we live in. Anyway, the Bitchkin Chicken Dragon says probably has to do with SpaceX and NASA government contracts. Maybe. Be the Dragon upgraded their membership to tier 2. Thank you very much for that. Enjoy the top 10 list. Jamie worked with dogs for 11 years. Half of mini Aussies are neurotic AF. Rescue one so you know it's sane. I know they have issues, but they're so adorable. Ian says, yesterday was insanity, and sadly I know people who are pro-life people at my work, but even they are still pro-Trump after yesterday. Yeah. Well, some people you're just not going to be able to get to. Thank you, Raven. Appreciate that. And Bruce, thank you. So, by the way, the final story, and this is the headline story for the pre-show today. Pence is apparently, according to Senator Jim Inhofe, is furious at Trump for betraying him and, making threats against his life effectively, like getting his whole crazy fan base against him. He says, I've known Mike Pence forever. I've never seen Pence as angry as he was today. I had a long conversation with him. He said, after all the things I've done for Trump. If you've been watching this for a little while, you probably know what I'm going to say. After all the things you did for Trump, he repaid your loyalty by betraying you. Yeah, that's what he does. The only hope you have of being paid by Trump for something is by betrayal. That's the only thing he ever pays with. That's the only coin he knows. He demands loyalty and never rewards it. That's it. That's Trump. That's the whole Trump thing. You apparently understood the first part. You understood that he demands loyalty, which is why you gave it to him for literally years. But you seem to somehow have gone through years of close time spent with him and all of that, watching him turn on people time after time after time. And you think, well, no, surely that won't happen to me because I've been really loyal. They just didn't clear the bar. No, there's no bar. There's no bar. He likes you so long as you are being loyal, and the second you're not, he's done with you. That's it. How dare you be angry? How dare you be surprised? Did he just wake up earlier today, mid-coup, and realize, oh my God, I think this guy might be some kind of monster? You don't get to be surprised at this point. We've seen too much. We know too much. We've had too much beaten into us on a daily basis for you to claim to not get this. I was gonna title the stream as he throws him under the bus, but at this point, you go into his employ laying in the path of the bus. You don't know when the bus is gonna get to you, and it might take a little bit. For some, it might take 5 years, but that bus is coming. You should be able to see it. Take your eyes off the pavement for a second and just look down the path. It's coming. And Trump is driving it. In Fox and Friends this morning, Ainsley Earhart says, I hope the president will be able to forgive him. Hopefully their friendship won't end after this for the good of the country. What sort of stupid bullshit is that? First of all, I hope he can forgive him. Pence didn't do anything wrong in this particular case. Pence did his Vanna White ceremonial part of the certification of the vote. I hope he can forgive. Trump is doing the wrong thing. Trump is the bad guy here, Ainsley Earhart. That wasn't yesterday morning. That was this morning, after the coup. He's saying, I hope that he can forgive Mike for his sins. And for the good of his nation, they need their friendship. Nobody gives a shit about their... it's stupid, her read on who's at fault. But at the end of the day, nobody gives a damn about whether they're friends. Do you think, honestly, and maybe I'll be wrong, we'll see, that like after January 20th, they will ever speak again? Who thinks that? Or who cares at the end of the day? Like, I'm sure Mike Pence thinks, well, I'm going to run for president someday. And I'm sure after years of loyalty, Trump will give me the nod for the next one. Well, it's looking like that's not going to happen. And also, these are not serious people. These are not people that like genuinely care about what happens and about politics and are following it every day. And they're just trying to do the best thing they can in a difficult situation. No, these are people who are trying to make difficult situations to benefit themselves, mostly financially, sometimes in terms of raw power and influence. Julie would like to claim Giraffe Dragon. It's yours. The Dragon of the Mighty Neck. Pamela Holder, welcome to Tier 1 YouTube membership. Thank you for that. Hoda says, Desert Dragon from Canada, for the sake of American democracy and global efforts to maintain democratic values, DT must be removed/stifled. Hoda, I agree with you. Desert Dragon, thank you for your service. Made Money into Building says, dang, John, you skip my super chats all the time. I was just trying to send you some good vibes after yesterday's tomfoolery. I haven't seen any that I've gone past. We had the tech problem. I apologize. And look, so when we do the full show, I try to read as many as I can, but there's absolutely no way that I'll be able to get to all of them. I do read all of them. I just can't read them all live. Here, I really do try, but it is still very difficult. I appreciate the overwhelming support. Sometimes we don't get to all of our stories because we're reading so many. But if I miss yours, it is not intentional, and I really do apologize. Jan says, when will you do a live Q&A? Also, can I claim Shook Dragon after yesterday's events? You can, and it'll help us all remember. I think we're planning on it in the next 1 to 2 weeks, basically. Somewhere around the middle of the month, we're planning on doing it. Greg Jones says, I pledge assiduity to the resurrection of the United States of America and to the alliance by which it grows, one nation, one person with tolerance and dignity for all. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate the sentiment. Sean says, my first super chat, and I thought it should be profound. So here it goes, 42. Well, that is the answer. And thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Matt says, so much damage to report on. Malazan? Is that a reference to the fantasy series? There's a lot of damage to report on, though. Perhaps more than ever before, though. A Spooky Fox wants to know if Pence will pardon Trump if the 25th puts him in office. Maybe. Look, honestly, if... I don't know. We're going to talk about the people that he's like literally removing from the cabinet as we go. Mr. Anderson says, your pre-show is awesome, and I'm grateful to have joined for the top 10s, officially claiming Professor Dragon and looking forward to your show. Thank you, I appreciate that. We have a lot of fun recording those, by the way. Dreamy Dragon Girl says, hello, Dragon Daddy, love your stream. Sad to hear that Trump is calling his terrorist again for Inauguration Day. They are getting ready to storm in like they did yesterday. But is he going to even be there? Okay, I can hear my Skype, so I'm going to have to run. Thank you to everybody who joined for the stream. Almost 20,000 of you. And 6,000 hitting the like button. That's a pretty good ratio. I'll accept that. If I couldn't get to your message, I really do apologize. I do go through and read them all, though, and I very much appreciate the support. Thank you so much for that. Rashad Ritchie is going to be joining me. We're going to be breaking down a little bit of what happened yesterday as well as over the night. You're not going to want to miss it. It starts in like less than 20 minutes, so stay tuned. It's going to be here. You might not get the notification, but we will be live, and I hope to see you in just a few.